to try to add to my content on the channel with some quick videos called Strap It On. And it's basically a wristwatch check of the day and the strap that I paired with the watch. I do these pretty much every day anyways on Facebook and Instagram. They seem to be pretty popular and they like my choices, so why not share a quick video on this to give anybody that's interested in the strap or the watch or both some interest here and some information, so maybe they might want to try to pair it up similarly. This is my Seiko SARB, no, it's not SARB, SPB089 Blue Alpinist. This is that limited edition that came out, I guess mid-March, something like that. Actually, it was actually a while ago. Anyways, sold exclusively on Seiko USA, and the only other retailer is Hodinkee, which I got this from. And yeah, and it's limited to 1,959 pieces. And today I have this on a I forget what cheapest NATO straps call this. This is where I got the strap from, but it's basically just like the Omega Seamaster, the 007 Commander edition, I think. It's like got like this Pepsi config colors and stuff going on with that Omega, and it was paired with a strap similar to this design. It's got like this navy blue with red, thin red, and like a gray or silver stripe in the center of those. And I guess it was supposed to represent service bars if you just took this section of a commander. Or is it rank? Anyways, and so this is what that is basically. 20 millimeters, because the watch takes 20 millimeters. It's a single pass, so you don't have that double layer that goes underneath normally, which is great. I don't like that. I don't know why don't more strap companies just make them like this, which I believe is more what you would call a Zulu style, when it's just one piece that runs through. It doesn't have that extra piece that comes through here, and then you got to run this through and then thread it through that other keeper. Why it's great is because it keeps it thinner, because you don't have one less extra layer, so the watch doesn't ride as high on the wrist. And additionally, I found that this type of strap, you can position the watch at anywhere, which is great, because usually the ones that the normal layer, double layered NATOs, you have to fit it within that space, because they can't go past that last keeper that keeps the piece in on the side. So you're pretty much fixed within here, and what that means is the keepers and the buckle tend to be more on one side. So I'll show you this in a moment. I'm going to just put it on the wrist. Okay, and if I can get far enough away from here. Yes, I have to do this in my car. On my break. Anytime I got time, but usually 10:15 or so. The 10:10 is a good time to take pics. And yeah. So what that means is usually when you have the other kind of NATOs, they tend to have the buckle and everything more towards the outside. So this buckle will probably be right around here, at least on my wrist. So I can't get further out. Maybe I can. So it'd be further out this way, and this would be higher up this way. And I mean, I got by with that, but I prefer this because then you can slide the head down. So then this allows you to pull it'll position this buckle more and everything else along with it more on the bottom of your wrist. I generally like to keep my buckles right at the bottom of my wrist like this. That just makes more sense than being out here, which most NATOs tend to end up being like. So that's why this makes for a better system, besides being just flatter on the wrist with one less extra layer. I'll say for this watch, having this one layer, if not double. It's somewhat more beneficial if you're kind of OCD about the crown being moved by the back of your wrist, which it can do throughout the day. So it moves that compass bezel. That I have found that you get extra layer and that extra height does give it just enough off of the wrist where it doesn't even seem to move it as much, nearly as much as just a two-piece where the watch head is directly on your wrist. And sometimes this does a little bit too, but this is the next best thing other than the double layer if you don't want this to move as much, because you get that extra clearance. But for me, I'm okay. It doesn't move that much, and I look at my watch enough where I don't mind touching it and tweaking the compass bezel to be more aligned if I wanted to. So that's basically it. And I think this looks pretty good. It pairs really nicely with, it might be hard to see in this lighting, but the dial is a dark blue radiant. If I could capture it from the other side, you'd probably see it better. You'll see some pictures I'll flash, probably in the intro anyways, the title. Or look for my pics on Instagram and Facebook, the various watch groups. Yeah, so this is, they don't cost too much. At cheapest NATO strap, they're about, I want to say less than $10. They're a really good price over at cheapest NATO straps. Good place to go get a variety of straps. Other than leather kind of, well, I don't like the, I don't know how to pronounce it. It begins with the K, Caravaggio, something like that. The vintage style leather straps with a little, simple stitch over here and here, and maybe at the end of the tongue or the loose end. Those I found aren't that great. They do seem a bit cheap and not well made. But all the other leather straps I've tried seem much more reasonable and not as disappointing. But for NATO straps in general, they're great prices, and the more you get, the cheaper it'll be. And currently, as of April 1st, I believe there might be still a sale to get 50% off or something on a bunch of items. Go check the website if it's not too late by the time you watch this. This could probably, if you're looking for this, I don't remember the name of this one. It's not called the Bond Commander. Might be just red and blue, but I believe it's look under their seat belt NATO straps. I believe it's under there. Although I don't think this personally feels like your typical seatbelt material. It's not also your typical NATO strap material, because usually those have more of a ribbing that goes across this way. I guess it's pretty close. I mean, I have a seatbelt right behind me in my car, and I can say it's not as slippery as that. Some other NATO seatbelt NATOs are much more slippery and smooth, which I don't know. Sometimes I feel like it slides around too much, but this is not bad. It's decent quality. I've had this for a little bit. Good price, and I think it works pretty good with this dark blue dial. And again, probably pretty hard to see in this lighting unless, let me see if I can bump up the brightness a bit here. Get an idea. Sorry about the washed out background. But the main thing is this, but you can see it's blue with the little red accents in the compass bezel. Ties in nicely with that. Alright, so that's it. Thanks, and I'll see if I can keep this series going every day. Bye.